All right, so let's get started, everyone, with our first conversation on a global morning today. Again, we return to Edo State, where insecurity is apparently the biggest conversation in that state. No longer elections or the back and forth over who won and who lost in 2024. Ekpoma has become a hotspot of some kind, and just for perspective, that's a university community, Ambrose Ali University, just so we are clear. So you can only imagine what exactly it means when you continue to hear of increase in abductions around that area. That's not to say that you don't also find pockets of insecurity or crimes being committed in other parts of the state, but as it stands right now, and sadly so, Ekpoma is in the eye of the storm. So we've seen the protests that have greeted that town, and at some point we heard that students were reluctant to resume on account of fear that they might be next in line for all the wrong reasons. The governor says the state government is not resting on its oars right now, that is doing all it can to not only end this menace, but bring the actors and those backing them to book as quickly as possible. This morning, we're joined by Destiny Enabulele. He's a former local government chairman in Edo State, a member of the People's Democratic Party, as well as a member of civil society. We'd like to say big thank you to you and Happy New Year, Destiny.
Yeah, same to you, my brother.
Happy New Year. Thank you for being a part of Global Morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well done.
All right, so let's talk about Edo State real quick, the issue of insecurity. Hopefully, we're able to divorce politics from this conversation, right? Because it's about human lives, no less. So let's look at where we are. At what point did it become so nasty that today people say they are dragging the governor? Others say, well, it's not as bad as it seems. But it was bad enough that we have seen protests in Ekpoma running for days now.
Yeah, my brother, I'm happy that you are calling from Edo State. Well, I don't know about my sister.
No, I'm half Edo. My mom is Igweben. So.
Oh, you are from Edo State. I think we are home and dry. You see, there's a saying that if elders don't speak or talk, children will eat vulture, thinking they are eating chicken. You see, over time, we have allowed our political inclination becloud our sense of cognitive reason and fair judgment. At the very beginning of this, with utmost humility, this INEC, administration in Edo State, headed by the class prefect. Or the
Please, can we stay on the issue?
I'm driving there.
Yeah, please.
So you can know why we are this conundrum across board, economically, socially, security-wise, politically, just name it. Even within the circle, they are divided. I read online this morning, or rather last night, they are attributing it to PDP or ADC. They are casting aspersion on the former vice president. You see, it is unfortunate that we find ourselves at this crossroad. Very, very unfortunate. But the crop of persons that we currently have in the hierarchy in terms of leadership of Edo State, with utmost humility, they don't have the wherewithal to drive home the needed, dividends of democracy. Permit me, I think it was this platform or other sisters platform. I said it. I, for one, I cannot point to 2 years running now, one tangible project that they have, started or executed, apart from the flyover, which is the federal government's project. I don't know, maybe I'm lost, or I'm no longer in tune with the reality in Edo State.
Is the flyover a federal government project?
It is a federal government's project. It's a federal government's road. It is a federal government project. Let nobody...
But who is bankrolling the project, regardless of the location of the project? Well, even though that, you got us there, and I thought we should properly inform the public.
You see, whether you are bankrolled, there's a time will come where they will refund. It's a no fact. With all the money that is accruable or accruing to Edo State, if you look back to before this present dispensation, they are getting with first subsidy is gone. The proceeds from first subsidy is gone to very just now. We cannot say that Edo State is better off.
Well, let me ask a question here. Sorry to interject. You mentioned some political parties. Do you think with all of these issues happening in Edo State at the moment, since the assumption of office by Governor Okpebolo, do you think it has like a political undertone to it?
My dear sister, I'm happy you are from Egwebe. That automatically make you a very bona fide Edo person.
Okay.
You see, this morning, the news before us that one of the SSA colleagues has been arrested. The SSA on the Youth and Political Affairs on this present administration. You see, I got to know it was on another sister platform that with utmost humility, the only person that is different in this present administration, I sympathize with him, is Governor Mode Okpebolo. Every other person with utmost humility. From his number two man, let us, because there's a saying in my very rich Benin language that Abioyi or Masa Abiozuo, that it is more, it is good for you to have or give birth to a thief rather than you give birth to a moron. So I'm not saying that governor is a moron, neither am I saying that he's a thief.
So what's the point?
The point I'm making at is this, which is very simple, that as we speak in Edo State, there are different blocks in Edo State. I'm not of the APC, but as
blocks within the APC.
Within the APC, that is the gospel truth, and I will not mention names because I'm not of the APC. Our prayer is that they disagree and they go their ways, and very soon you begin to see events as they unfold as 2027 draws near. Some blocks headed by a senator is to make sure that Okpebolo fails. And his godson, which happens to be number 2, will succeed. And the news that is flying around town in Edo State is that they are planning to even impeach the governor and bring in the number 2 man. So I will leave it at that. I will not,
So we can stay on insecurity issue.
Sorry?
So we can stay on insecurity.
Definitely.
Exactly.
You see, the issue we have at hand, I said it before now, that we have lost touch. You understand that before this president's administration, the former governor, Gordon Obaseki, set up a security, platform where they'll be able to, monitor some red areas, some key areas that are
the control and command facility.
Control and command center, named after the late former IGP Solomon Arisi.
Right.
But when this came on board, this present administration, they jettisoned. You see, there's a problem. There is need for continuity. I said in this platform that what Lagos State presently enjoys is as a result of continuity in Lagos State. That is why I'm not favorable, or disposed to this man Jagaban in the center with utmost humility, because he know very well the need for continuity. If, for instance, that we've had Asolime Igodalo, Edo would have by now, climb the ladder of progress.
Are we not crying over spilled milk?
Exactly.
We keep talking about Aso Igodalo.
We must try to situate the yesterday. That's the only way we'll be able to understand what today stands for. That is the gospel truth. A situation where if we're to be Asolime, we would have jettisoned or abandoned the command center. That's where I'm coming from. No. We would have started from where he stopped and where government stops and continue. Before now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave it to Fashola, then Ambode, and now we have the man. You can see Lagos State is progressing, whether you like it or not. We must give it to them. But when we have Edo is in the reverse. Look at Osiomo. Just look at it. That's why I said, facet of human endeavor, the length and breadth of Edo State. There's something to show for it. For me, you know me, I was for Asolime, but that's not to say that, but today I'm saying that he need to watch his back. Because one of his greatest nightmare is his number 2 man. He needs to be very careful.
Is he the one responsible for insecurity in Edo State?
A house divided against itself cannot stand. You understand? If you are a married man and you have an issue with your wife, there's going to be a problem. Conflict of interest. It's going to be difficult for you to achieve something meaningful. This is a well-known fact.
All right,
so for us, the issue of insecurity, you see, they have been, playing tete-a-tete. They've not been proactive, rather reactionary. What happened in Ekpoma? This is not the first time. There was a doctor and a brother that was kidnapped at the early, and the brother was killed. Even at about a few days ago, before this present one, this last one, there was an attack on one Mercedes-Benz Jeep at the night that was shown at the CCTV, and there was no action. And it's a student community, and they are resuming. So if you have your kids or your wards there, as a parent, what will you do? So what they have done, you see, protest all over the world. It is your right. What happened? We must give it to the students and the community people, because they have cried and they have make appeal to government or to governor. This government, what they are after, with utmost humility, it is how to garner the 2.5 votes in 2027 for APC and
2.5 million.
So they've abandoned what anything has to do with governance. They've abandoned anything that has to do with
Are you saying the governor's priorities are...
Yes, his priority now is
are they misaligned?
My brother, you should know. We should know. It's not, and the people know better.
We don't know. That's why we're asking you. We want your opinion on this issue.
Okay,
we don't know.
Let's make it really easy. You see, there's the conversation that insecurity as we know it today in Edo State, especially around that Edo Central, Ekpoma in particular. I mean, even up to Edo North, it didn't start today. Let's say, for instance, we had a couple of bank robberies when your own man, Godwin Obaseki, was in power. As a matter of fact, the APC conveniently says today that they inherited states that was in a bad place security-wise, and the facts are there. They speak for themselves.
My brother, when the governor Obaseki was in the saddle of leadership, trying to juxtapose vis-a-vis with this present administration, you all know that at least to reduce to a barest minimum. Anywhere in the world, there's no way you will say there's no country that is free from crime.
Right.
But you must reduce it to the barest minimum. But you will agree with me that will speak very just now. That it's an increase. Let us be very fair. Let us be sincere to our people, because our people's lives they are in danger, including my humble self. Do you know, from Benin to Abuja by road, whether in any of these transport line, it's not more than 30,000, or maximum 30,000 naira. But I'm afraid I cannot ply road. I have to go source for phone, perhaps go for loan before I can come to Abuja. Well, 100 or something. My family came, but three kids and a wife, almost 1 million naira to go back to Benin. In this day and time, do you know the economic impact? The damage to the pocket. So that's the problem. And they are not proactive. That's the point. What mechanism have they put in place to checkmate this insecurity? For me, I don't know of any. I don't know if you are aware. Since they came on board, knowing fully well that there's another surge of insecurity in the north and some parts of the south. So you must put in some mechanism to safeguard and protect your people. The primary aim of any government is to protect lives and property. That's the first primary aim. Every other thing is secondary. So you've abandoned the primary aim, and you're not pursuing those interests that will benefit your godfather to the detriment of the electorate, of the people. So there's a fundamental problem.
Juma asked you a very reversing question as to whether there is a political undertone to this. Can we speak to that theory?
And then to add to it, we should also give it to Governor Pebble, because he has come out to say he has tried to maintain calm and says everything is under control to douse the situation. So if you come out and say that, I don't understand why the laughter is ongoing right now.
He said he has tried to maintain calm.
Yes, he has. At least he didn't sit back and watch the protesters fill the whole place up.
But this try is not try enough. You see, let us be sincere here. You see, it could be anybody. It could be any of us relatives. Let us be very sincere. And you saw the commando style that security agents stormed the place that the protesters they were carrying out their very legitimate human rights protest. And we discovered that even an army soldier, one of the soldiers, shot at a protester. Very armless, without arm, and then nothing. At this day and time, you see what prompted them to storm that place because of the billboards that were pulled down by the protester. There's nothing else. See, this whole thing is not about the people. It's about him and his godfather. To see how he can massage the godfather's ego and give him the needed 2.5 votes.
So you see no fault in the protesters bringing down the billboard?
No way. You see, no way for me.
You see no issues with that?
I'm a son of a
trying
protest.
to destroy public property without being civil.
Protest is in my DNA.
So you see no problem
for
with
me,
that?
there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I beg to differ.
Destroying
public property?
That
you can have your protest. No,
excuse me.
When you were talking, I didn't interrupt. You can go out and protest in a civil manner to get your message passed across.
It's called peaceful demonstration.
A peaceful demonstration. But when you start putting down billboards, that means you are a hazard to individuals around you. Maybe that was why they pulled the trigger at that point, which I am not in support. There are better ways, but you feel there is nothing wrong with what the protesters did?
The billboards. What is in the billboard?
It doesn't matter whatever is in the billboard. It was paid for.
So when the governor and the government is preoccupied with 2027 election,
you can pass your message in a civil manner.
It was civil.
By pulling out.
It was civil.
No, it wasn't.
As a father, I'm coming as a father. You have a wife, and there's a misunderstanding between you and your wife. Your wife can decide not to go to kitchen. Because there's a misunderstanding between you and the husband.
But this
is a way of protesting.
But I'm not saying
it has no
It does. No, that is even more sacrilegious compared in terms of our tradition for a wife not to cook for the husband.
I'm talking about
no. You see, they're in the same platform.
Just so we're clear.
Yes.
Just so we are clear. Are we saying if the governor's official vehicle had been on that spot, they also would have smashed it?
And you'd have supported that.
We must see. No, see. There is this saying that if you go around, go and do your own investigative journalism, that the governor and the government preoccupied with 2027, abandoning. You should know where the grievances is coming from. I don't know if you are getting me.
So what you are saying now is that the protesters are not protesting because of the insecurity.
They are. That is a way to drive home their demand. That look, you leave this 2027 and
focus.
Of course, that is the point. If, for instance, let me use this. As a husband, you try to have a side chick, and your husband get to know. I'm saying, this is a reality TV show that decide to know, and your wife get to know that the side chick. Your wife can decide to attack that side chick. We have seen cases like that.
And then the law also will be activated.
We'll take its course.
But again, just so we are clear, it's not a reality TV show. It's a breakfast. It's a breakfast. I want to say something. I'm not so sure now, as it stands at this point, whether you are still a member of the PDP, because it seems my hunch tells me there's now ADC flying inside of you.
I see.
But you are in the opposition. That's what
I'm not here for.
You are in the opposition. Right.
Probably in opposition.
How is the opposition having? Yes. How is the opposition having this conversation in those states beyond politics, beyond whether or not you believe Monday Okpebholo won the election? How is the opposition addressing the issue of insecurity in the states, especially without politics? I mean, as it is, life and death issue.
You see, I started by saying that if elders don't speak or talk, children will eat vulture.
And
thinking that they are eating chicken. That is the role of the opposition. And they have been doing just that to call the government to order. With utmost humility, the PDP is a very liberal party. Unlike what we currently have now. A conglomeration, I don't want to use any derogatory language, a conglomeration of shades of persons in APC, which have been issued. They are coming to power they were being saddled with the responsibility to remove PDP, not knowing what to do afterwards. That's the gospel truth. So you can see, I told you just now, that they've started, accusing opposition. They are still behaving as if they are in opposition. Not necessarily when they are not a saddle of leadership. To be in opposition and be there and be a player, they are two different things. So they are not aware that they are the one now presiding over the affairs of the Edo people. They are still thinking that they are in opposition. But it will still be done on them that they are, look, my friend, you are now in the saddle of leadership, and you must drive home the needed, democratic dividends for the people. If, for instance, just go to our rural communities, they can no longer go to farm. You said that during when I left office, I had a farm. I went to farm. I had my farm. I went to farm. But today, I can't dare eat. I told you just now, I was afraid to even ply the road. So I was not lucky to, how do they put it? That you're trying to cut costs. At the end of the day, you're now at the mercy of cutting costs.
Penny wise, pound foolish.
Penny wise, pound foolish.
Exactly.
So that's a problem. And it's not friendly to our pockets. It's not friendly to our pockets. Let's call a spade a spade. Ordinarily, like I said to Soke, my wife and children get a Sienna 100,000 or 200,000 maximum. But close to 1 million naira. But let's see. Why I'm saying this? Today, we don't know. Today is Mr. A. Tomorrow, it might be any of us relative. It can be any of us. You never can tell. A journalist in Abuja here, one of the sister stations, she lost her life sometime last year.
Yeah.
Right.
As a result of insecurity. So we all must speak out. Because a closed mouth is a closed destiny. A station time says 9. Because if we fail to do the needful, that which we fail to do might be the sacrifice tomorrow. That's the point.
Is the opposition engaging the governor strategically on this issue in Edo State beyond just calling him out on Facebook?
No, because they're having press conference. The only way that the opposition can call out any sitting government to have a press conference.
Has that been done over time?
Definitely. They have been doing it.
Any response from government?
For where? That's the point. That's the see, I think they are behaving as if they are, quote unquote, they are demigod. They say, don't mind them. Let them talk. Let them. I listened to, is it not Oshomole said that the civil society and opposition, or rather the youth, they should stop agonizing. They should put themselves to, because that's a word from a leader. It is disheartening to hear such a comment from quote unquote a supposed leader with utmost humility. Now, someone that before now been issued was the side of the people, quote allegedly to be the side of the people, because of recent we've been seeing some very damaging revelations from the likes of So Warrior and the leaders. He was never with the people. So that's why I'm here. That's a topic for another day. So for us as a people, I'm happy that the three of us here, we are from Edo State. Whether your mother or we are from Edo State. We must put our voice together to speak when the need arises. I'm not speaking as opposition. No, I just told you just now that there are blocks in APC, and about 2 of the blocks are trying to frustrate Okpebholo. I'm not speaking as opposition, because ordinarily opposition is their prayer is to make sure that the ruling party that they go into the grave. But for me, I'm not praying that.
Do you think? I mean, you are a politician on the ground. You've been in leadership as well, so you are not naive about these things. Do you see a correlation of any kind between these blocks and insecurity in the states? All of the things happening, the conflict within the APC and this insecurity that's escalating.
For me, as I said earlier, a house divided against itself cannot stand. There's nothing meaningful in an atmosphere of rancor. That's why my grandmother would always say, "Ewoma, Ebona wire." It is when there are peace in a community that whether the imam or the pastor or you and I can go to a place of worship or a place of work. So for us, as we currently stand, the APC in Edo are in blocks. I won't want to say that they are divided. That's for their own to say whether they are divided or they are each other's neck. But the point is this: A house divided against itself cannot stand. And the government, as we currently have it, the governor need to sit tight. He need to get his men, very trusted ally. I know that is difficult because of where he's, how he came about. It's going to be very difficult. I sympathize with him. And because I'm a Benin man, I sympathize with him because for me, I want this administration to succeed because it's our money, it's our collective patrimony.
Right.
Yes,
we can't afford to use it for Father Christmas or use it for Jamboree. Begin to send some millions of lessons 2025 to somewhere Rivers, somewhere Akwa Ibom, somewhere. No, we cannot afford to do that. Let our money work for us. We want to see the dividends. We want to see where our money has taken us to. But as we currently stand in Edo, I don't think I can point to anything tangible in this present administration. As of today, I'm talking about today. My prayer for them, let them use our money judiciously for the betterment and benefit of the Edo people.
Let us talk about civil society groups and traditional rulers in Edo State. What have they proposed to actually curb this menace of insecurity in Edo State to Okpebholo's administration? What do you think they've done, in your own opinion? Have they tried to, or they're just sitting down and watching this whole charade?
The issue of the traditional rulers, I think the traditional rulers, they are in the same web with our religious leaders. There's no way you will talk about the development of the people without mentioning the religious bodies. We must be very frank. I think it was Kamas that once said that religion is an opium of the people. That is the way it is. Our people, they revere their pastor. Just put it side by side with their husband. You are a woman, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can go before your pastor and say, Daddy, Dombale, but to your husband, you can't receive your wake up and say good morning or just like you move on. I've seen a situation where a wife traveled out and got some pair of shoe for the pastor and abandoning the husband. I've seen. I was in France. I saw. Well, that's a topic for that. So why? But the point is this. We will begin to get it right. The traditional rulers, they have missed it with utmost humility because majority of them
That's traditional rulers in Edo State now, or which one are you talking?
Across board.
Okay.
Across board, they have missed it because majority of them they are neck deep in politics. Thereby, they cannot speak truth to power. If you go back to history of, religious evolution, you will understand the point I'm driving at. Like, Kamas, the Martin Luther King of Germany, the senior Martin Luther King. You know what led that we currently enjoy as Pentecostal today and the likes. He discovered certain ills in the Catholic, so he decided to question the status. But today, our religious leaders and traditional rulers, they will tell you, judge not my anointed, so that you will not be judged. That is where they begin to cajole the people, begin to imprison the people, so the people can no longer confront their leaders. So for us, a criticism of any sort, it is to bring out the best from that system. A criticism of any sort. You listen to criticism. There are some good ones that will assist the process. There are some good ones. Not all criticisms are bad. Not all. I'm a person of criticism. I look at it and I tell you that look, this is not right. But I'm going to profess, okay, do it this way. So for us as a people, our traditional rulers, they have missed it. That is the gospel truth. Majority are not in tune with the reality in their locality. Some of them, they are traditional rulers in community A, they are residing in community C. Majority of the traditional rulers in this festive period, some of them, they were in United States of America, they were in UK, they were in Dubai, abandoning their people. How are you not going to, bond with your people?
Be in tune.
Exactly, the people will tell you this, what we are facing. That's why they can no longer tell their people what they ought to do or what they ought not to do. You saw what happened in Ekpoma. Even when the traditional law was in their midst, they didn't listen. Yeah. Because there's a lacuna between the people and the traditional stool. So for us, we must go back to the drawing board. The traditional rulers must divorce themselves from politics and face the stool and the people. Before now, when the traditional ruler is mentioned, you shiver. You as in,
exactly. There's
but
this sort
today,
of fear.
yeah, but today it's no longer like that. That's the gospel to bed. They don't want to hear the truth. So for us as a people, in all sector of our existence as a people, I think there's a fundamental problem. From the religious to the traditional to even to governance, those that lead us, there's a fundamental problem. And again, you talked about the issue of civil society.
Yes.
You agree with me that since the inception of this present administration, the civil society are in comatose. That's the gospel truth. You know why? I will tell you for free. I came to the limelight in the very core of civil society. He is aware. I was the pioneer and director of publicity of the Conference of Non-Governmental Organizations, which happens to be the umbrella of NGO in Edo State, and later secretary and the president before my accidental, inroad into politics. And now I'm back. I'm here.
Was it accidental?
It was accidental because I was being, lured to go into politics for his own selfish interest. And once it was done, so there's a topic for another day anyway.
Okay.
So for us as a people, this present government, you agree with me, they are more of a civil society person. This present, ruiners, they are more of a civil society. They used us at the time to tell the people, we were at the front, while they were at the back, giving us the needed energy, to deceive the people that this what the government is doing is not good, it's not right.
Really deceive?
It is to deceive. I'll tell you. Let me use one as a case
Please
study.
tell me.
Like the issue of fuel subsidy. Yes. Some of us, we are at the forefront. That look, this one Jonathan is about to do is not right. Is you understand? You follow the narrative that time.
Yes, I
But you coming aboard at the very second of your administration, says fuel subsidy is gone, and you once told us that this thing is wrong. That's why I said deceived. Because I said I will only use one example. I won't go further. So that's a fundamental problem. So for us as a people, we must begin to speak. Because I said it, I don't know whether it's in this platform. I said as 2027 draws near, as we all go out to gym weekly, we must set aside at least 1 hour to begin to practice madness in preparation for 2027.
Really?
Yes. You know why?
No, please
I
tell
grew up
me.
in a village. Atigobazoa. Fantastic place. You see, there were some mad, persons. I think a male and a female. I can remember. I was coming from the tap one day, and I saw them moving at opposite, side. And the other ones, they discovered that the one that is coming is more, muscular and to perceive to have more strength. It moved to the left side. That's to tell you that the man that is coming is better prepared. And let me paint another scenario. I grew up in the midst of about 6, 8, girls, cousins. There was a day a guy tried to woo one of my cousins, and she refused. And the guy tried to harass, molest, and all of that. And I called some of my friends and other make cousin to go you understand, to go to the house. And when I saw the guy well built, and the guy is a guy that gym, then we have to go to our mental faculty to say, okay, what we are doing is suicidal. We retrace our steps. So the point is this: when I said they should go, so that those that will be having the mind to ring or do whatever, they know that the people are well prepared, and it will be difficult.
But really, are the people well prepared?
That's another thing.
Are we really?
And that is where the media, you guys, come aboard to begin to conscientize, to talk to the people with the right information.
To understand where our power lies, right?
Exactly. But I don't know whether the NBC will allow people to begin to do all of that. So that's another thing.
As long as the conversations are centered on facts, verifiable evidence, why not by all means?
So, let me say this. God, the problem of the people are the people themselves. Why do I say so? Majority of us don't really know what we want from the government. That is the gospel. Majority of us don't really know what we want from the government. And at times we allow some very cosmetic projects that in the political parlor, they are what we call political project, the Hallelujah projects, where what do they want to see? not what they really want. There was a situation when I was in civil society. I went to a certain community, and the community said, okay, what they want is morgue, as in mortuary, because there's none in the community and the neighboring communities. But the government went and had, provided them with borehole water. And the women, gang up and said they abandoned the pipe-borne water and begin to go to stream to fetch water.
So that was their own protests.
Yes. When we confronted them, they said no, that they did not consult them. That what they want is mortuary, not pipe-borne water or borehole water. Because the only time they have to gossip their various husbands or their community is when they are going for a stream to get water, or to a river to get water. So you can see they are what we call the Hallelujah project and the political projects.
But let me ask you a question, really. I think individuals who are listening to you right now will beg to differ and tell you that Nigerians are becoming more aware. If they're not aware, this protest will not be ongoing in Edo State. Don't you think so? And individuals are now coming out. They now know their rights. That if you do not do the needful, we will act, we will verify, because we are now aware of the circumstances in you being in office at that point. Don't you think so?
You see, let me try to answer your question. I will try to answer your question. I will not answer your question. You see, there is a problem. There are times you think that the people really know what they want. That's a big fallacy. I will tell you for free. If, for instance, I'm a legislator, I have no business with projects, to begin to execute projects as a legislator. But over time, it has been corrupted and abused. The primary aim of a legislator is to sponsor bill oversight functions and to be the checks and balance to the executive. But as we speak very just now, are they doing all of that? But rather, they are in bed with projects. They begin to sing hallelujah with the executive. And they are in dining table eating jollof rice with the governor. So that's where we find ourselves. That's why I said the people don't really know what they want from government. You see, there is this syndrome in Nigeria, the strongman syndrome, where we don't have a viable institution. Let me put it, a viable institution we don't have. That is why a president can sit down and remove a governor and say he declares state of emergency. That is why the governor can dissolve the third tier, the council, and the chairman and their councillors. Because we don't know what they want. If really we know what we want, a governor has no right to dissolve the council, elected council chairman and councillors. That's an impeachable offense. So for us as a people, we must begin to do what it. That is why this platform must begin to educate people, must begin to tell the people, as a matter of urgency, as 2027, beyond 2027, I believe that is too short. We must begin to do, whether you like it or not, the opposition must form a formidable force, a very viable vehicle that can checkmate this present, as it currently stands in the national.
We have to talk about the opposition, a bit in detail, but we need to take a quick break. Well, when we return, we'll look at claims that opposition in Edo State in particular is in disarray, because they say there's been this exodus of people from the PDP to the ADC. They say we can blame it on the Atiku factor. How true or otherwise that is, we'll find out after this break. Please do stay with us. right, let's push it a bit further with this conversation. They say a viable opposition is nothing but vital if you want to have a forward-looking, result-oriented sort of government, top to bottom. In the case of Edo, they say that's not what the situation is right now. Of course, the PDP, where I want to believe you still belong, all right, had a change of leadership a while ago. They say with people like Chief Danosi Obi out of the party in the States and a few other big wigs as we know them, the PDP is nothing but a paper tiger.
You see, let me quickly say this, because you've mentioned the likes of Danobi. With utmost humility, I respect him a lot because I'm one person that respects age. So I respect him. Without them, we won the 2024 election, the governorship. Actually, we won the 20. I can stand before our Lord Jesus Christ and say it.
But that looks like a symposium discussion now.
No, it's not. See, I can stand before our Lord. When I say I can stand before our Lord Jesus, because that's the only faith I believe in. That to tell you how convinced. Majority of Edo people, they are aware that Asolime won that election. We all know what happened. I wouldn't want to say that is why we are now, we are now at this crossroad in Edo. I exonerate the average Edo person. They are not part of the concussion. You know what concussion in the village? I grew up in the village. I love it very well. You see, they were not part of the concussion. I must give it to them. At any rate, the issue of insecurity, to me, is beyond what we are saying. Our governor, in the course of an electionary campaign, he promised us that he will give us insecurity. It's there in the video, one of his campaign. Or you've not seen it?
That was a momentary error.
The way you are looking at me.
That was a momentary error. He corrected himself almost immediately. That would have happened to the best of us.
From the abundance of a man, the man speaketh. So see the Bible. I'm not a Bible student, no. But I know that. That's what the Bible. See, there's a saying in the local palace, say like play. If you talk, I go pass. He said it. All we need to do now, if all our hands will be on deck, I put a hand on the plow to make sure that Edo works for us. The issue of opposition, I said it earlier. You see, just flash your mind back in all the elections. No party has ever defeated PDP in Edo elections, apart from the last movement, the Obi movement. Do your own findings. Do your own findings.
Talking about
Edo is a PDP state.
Even now?
We are waiting. We've not had any.
You're waiting to become a PDP state once again? Is that the point?
No, Edo is ordinarily it's a PDP state. I said, cast your mind back.
But it's a de facto APC state now.
Exactly.
Till the next election.
But some APC leaders are saying that there's a particular spirit in the PDP. There's one spirit, the spirit that is hovering around the PDP. What can you say about that spirit?
Tell me the spirit.
That spirit of disunity, that spirit of discord, that spirit that some individuals who have defected to the ADC, or will I say the APC, they want to bring that same spirit into the APC. So that's what spirit. Is it that would you say that the PDP is becoming a shadow of itself, or there's nothing like the PDP with what we're seeing now with that party?
They said PDP, there's a
particular spirit. Yes, there's a spirit.
And we all know the actor. Your brother, our brother, the Yendeba. Today, he's in the APC. Same thing is happening in APC. Or you've not heard what is happening in Rivers.
But he says he's a card-carrying member of the PDP, and you are aware he said that. Our brother that you're talking about. Yeah,
but he has been expelled from the party. Whether you like it or not. You see, I'm not talking as a party person. I try to look at it without allowing my party association to becloud my sense of reasoning. That's what I try to do. If you look at it dispassionately, the Supreme Court, when we contested for House of Assembly, we went from the lower court to Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said that whatever happened is an internal, party certain that bringing it to court is for academic exercise. So for the INEC to begin to host with that the court, for me, is laughable. It's laughable. Whatever happened, if something's happened in my house, for instance, I'm the man of the house. I'm the man of the house. So it is my duty to look at the internal mechanism to settle whatever squabble between me, my wife, and the kids. So for us, that's why I'm not very comfortable with this present, what do you call him, the INEC chairman, with utmost humility. For me, I don't see anything meaningful coming out from this present INEC chairman. With utmost humility.
Why is that?
With utmost humility.
Why is that so, please? Do you have?
I think I've said this in this platform.
No, you haven't. Remind us again why.
You see, if you look at where he's coming from, you and I know that he who pays the piper dictates the tune. It's more, with utmost humility, treated to APC.
Is that where it's coming from?
That is where it's coming from.
Even as an academic?
At the time, it was at the legal team of this present dispensation. At the time, it was at the legal team. There's no way you can. There's no way. See, well, for me, I love confronting issues.
But how does legal representation pose an exuberance, as they say in law, in terms of his mandates as the chairman of INEC?
Well, you are a journalist. I expect you to, you see.
I mean, our viewers need to benefit from that, at least.
I would have used one word because it's more, but I will just leave it. You see, when you are married and you want your ex somewhere, you must be very careful not to see anything that will tie you and the ex in a confined place. Then the situation will be very compromised. I don't know if you are getting me.
No, I'm not.
So even
I refuse to use certain words just
right, even with all the promises that the chairman of INEC has made, I mean, he has raised the bar in terms of commitments.
And loyalty.
One commitment. Even the last man, what's his name? Yakubu, if I'm not mistaken, Professor. Right. It makes more commitment, more institutional development than this present one.
But he has barely gotten his foot in the door. He just got in there a few months ago.
But today, and for what happened in the last election, because of what he has done for this present dispensation, they have rewarded him with ambassadorial post. Let's call it spade a spade. Professor Enabulele is a rewarder of loyalty that you can't take away from him. That's why I liked him, not love him. That's why I liked him. You can't take away. So he rewarded Yakubu for his loyalty. Nobody. There's no saying. If, for instance, an umpire, a judge that have presided between, let's assume I'm the judge between you and madam, for instance, and there's a certain issue, and I have taken decision, and tomorrow she's coming to your house, not seeing you and I in a dining, eating jollof. There's a problem. Am I right? Thank you. Okay, for the very first time, you agree with me.
I know Juma has questions to ask, but I was just curious. Is there ever a time the president appoints a chairman for INEC and opposition will find it satisfactory? Is there ever a time in this country?
Akpata, for instance, there was satisfactory.
Justice from Akpata?
Yes. I can tell you, I can want to mention, I'll mention it.
But the NPP raised their eyebrows there.
Exactly.
That was just, you see, let us, when we get certain criticism, as I said it earlier, not all criticism are for the negative. Some is just to bring out the best in you. Even as a father, there are times your kids will take the result, or perhaps his or her performance in the school is not that. You try to just ginger him to step up the game. So for some of us, I'm from the civil society. It's also in my vein. I'm more of a civil society than a political animal. I'm more of a civil society. That's one of the problem I have or had at the time. Because I tried to speak truth to power. When the issue between my SY, my boss, and still my boss, Obaseki, and the deputy, who happens to be my elder brother, my confidant, well, you can't take that away. These are two fantastic fellows. When it happened, I was in a meeting, I told them, I said, there's a saying, my grandmother of blessed memory, you know, when I lost my father, who happens to be the only male of my grandmother, and I lived with my grandmother for about 9 years. From there, I went to the university. She said something that when two brothers of same parentage fight to death because of what their father left behind, to death, strangers will inherit those inheritance. And I said it in the meeting. And I was told to shut up. But today, where are we? Strangers have inherited what? You understand my point? So I'm more of a civil society than a political animal. So I will tell you the way it is. No matter who wants is God. So for us as a people, as I have said earlier, we must look at issues dispassionately and see how we can find a way around it for the betterment of the people. Why do we go into politics? To better the lot of the people. Quote, just underline the lot of the people. Yes, interest is there, but you shouldn't allow your interest becloud your sense of, performance.
Or judgment.
Or judgment. Because the people comes first. Because it is a collective patrimony. It's not a Enabulele fund. It's not money or parent. No, it's a collective patrimony. Just that at this point in time, you are then managing it on our behalf. So it must speak for us, and it must answer some questions that we are asking. A situation where the money fund or the patrimony is not answering the question, that's what leads to protest. That's what leads to protest. When we look at this is coming, and we are not getting the desired result, then I will be forced to ask questions in any means possible. Because desperate time requires desperate measure.
I want us to talk about, okay, Jimmy has a question.
I want to ask a question. 2027 is just around the corner.
It's around the corner.
And then now with this new, what you've said about the INEC chairman now, do you...
I don't have confidence in him.
Wait a minute. I'm
talking about myself.
Yes. Do you foresee the election not being free and fair?
For me,
yes.
I foresee not being free and fair. The only way, I have said it before, let me re-echo it, is this: that as the people go out to gym weekly, they must set aside 1 hour to practice madness, get towards 2027. The people must be prepared. You know why?
Why?
You can see all these governors, PDP by 11 a.m. and APC by 12 noon. It's nothing else.
You mean the ones that moved into
the ones that are moving to APC now? It's nothing else. They will tell you, yes, we have the numbers of governors. Yes, look at, we have about 28 governors, or so to speak. You see, the boju they carry out in Edo, that's what they're going to carry out in the majority of the states. They are going to concoct figure. I'm going to use the word repeatedly here. They are going to concoct figure. No concussion. And I don't know whether you grew up in the village. I grew up in the village with my grandmother. My grandmother would put some leaves, put some concussion. You have malaria, you have to drink. There's concussion without knowing the dose.
But
so the point is this.
Okay.
They say, yes, we have the numbers. They will direct governors on what to do. You've heard not too long ago some, with utmost humility, they are my brothers. I wouldn't want to call them some boys that are under this present administration, that if they see any opposition, what's it called? Poster anywhere, any opposition post anywhere, that they will attack. So what you and I are seeing, they are preparing. So they will tell you, yes, Edo State belong to APC. Yeah, what do you expect? You will say we are not going to win. River State is in there. Well, we are not going to win. I wanted to use the voice of my Yede Babet. I can't fake it. So that is the problem. So we must, Nigerians, this election is Nigerians, and just like what they did in the last presidential election, the movement. We must reinvent the movement.
But the voice of whoever you said you wanted to make now said
I wanted to, yes, to
yes,
fake it,
you wanted to fake it, but you could not.
Yeah.
But he said something. He said, whether you defect to the other party, it doesn't guarantee a re-election. So what can you say in that light? It doesn't guarantee you being re-elected.
My sister, I sympathize with my other brother, Wiki. It's very unfortunate. It's beginning to sound like a broken record. You see, if we're to be Wiki, you see, in my life, I try to put myself, whenever I find myself at any argument or conversation, I try to put myself in the opposite person. Say, okay, what will I? That's the only way I'll be able to get out of it. To be Wiki. Can anybody dare Wiki? You see, what do you expect as you speak is a control of the grassroots politics in terms of local. So you should expect, as is the control of the House of Assembly. I said, at the intro, I told you that I sympathize with two governors, my brother Fubara and Modokwewolo. I sympathize, though Modokwewolo is not my person, but I sympathize with him because he's managing my money. My money is there. Our money is there. It's our collective patrimony. So I sympathize with him. My prayer is for him to be able to use the money judiciously to answer some of our questions. So provide answer by way of the collective patrimony. You see, if it were to be wicked, will anybody try that to wicked? No. We all had what he did to his SY boss, Amechi, and the likes. Even his very revered orderly. These are persons that ordinarily, let us be sincere. For me, as I said earlier, I respect age a lot, so I hardly, you don't see me, castigating or insulting my senior. It's not of me. It's not in my DNA. But a situation where you find yourself, allow the man to preside over the state favorably. Allow him, let him. So what he's doing now is to cause commotion, to cause crisis, so that at the end of the 4 years or 8 years, they will say, okay, let's look at it. That yes, Wike is still up there. With all this crisis, you think the man can be able to get the best out of the administration? For me, I doubt. A man that was a governor, whether you like it or not, he was former governor and now he's not governor. At the time, he was removed. So it will affect little. It will affect the psyche. It will affect it. We are all human beings. For me, I don't. No, my wife will say, baby, it's like you are not fit for this politics it's not really your thing. You see, in politics, there are no morality. There are no fairness.
They say it's a dirty game.
Indeed, it is.
So what are you doing in it?
You see, I said it earlier. I said, we all enter politics to better the lot of our people. As I said, I used the word earlier that accidental inroad into politics. I pick it deliberately. Not as if it was really what I want, because someone wanted to use me to achieve certain things of which he achieved. And at the end of the day, wanting to use the councillors to remove me, and as God will have it, I got the wind of it, and I will be able to secure myself to the end
of your tenure.
Of my tenure. And God will have it. The then Obaseki said, okay, you go for House of Assembly. And I did. And the said person, which is Dennis, fought against me, even when our community, we all from the same community, said, look, you should not campaign, blah, blah, blah. And I adhered to it. But immediately after his own election, he went all out to campaign against me. As God will have it. And I defeated him and their candidates. And he went to court. His sponsor. And as we speak, I will learn that there's even a face-off between he said person and he said, because he's telling the guy to come and give him the 100 million that he spent in the court case. And the man said, all my entitlement in the house, it's not up to 100 million. And he used the Bajabila to remove my person from the House of Assembly. I don't have, for me, I'm home and dry. At least I spent 6 months. Today is in my CV, whether they like it or not. That's what I want to achieve, and I've achieved it.
All right.
I try to be very careful.
Let's go back to where we started from, the issue of insecurity in Edo State. We understand the House of Assembly, where you also had a stint, 6 months.
6 months is not enough.
Yes, that's why I said you had a stint, right? We hear they are working on some bills. Some people say, well, they've passed some laws to squarely deal with this emerging challenge that has to do with the security of the state and things like that. Is this House of Assembly proactive enough? Are they in tandem with the realities that we're dealing with in that state?
My brother, yeah, from the speaker to all of them, they are my friends. That I cannot, but that's not to say that it's just like I said earlier, and I've told whoever cared to listen. Ordinarily, the primary aim of a legislator across board in the developed country or developing country, the way it ought to be is lawmaking. But as we speak very just now, that has been put aside. They are now going to sink borehole, build school. That is not the primary aim of a legislator. For us to have effective legislation, they must face it squarely, the primary aim. They must remove that project executing arm, permit me, from the legislator. They have no business in executing projects. Because one, to act as checks and balance, the only difference between the Kaki administration and the civilian rule of democracy is the legislative arm. The Kaki administration, they have ministers, they have governors, but they don't have legislators. That's the only difference. That's what distinguishes them from every other, whether Kaki or whatever, or monarchy. So for us as a people, Nigerians must be very careful on who they send to be the legislator, whether in the House of Assembly, whether in the House of Rep, whether in the Senate. A situation where you don't make Senate to become a retirement home for former governors is an aberration. It is an error. I've seen some clip where a rep member cannot even read a bill, cannot even read a motion. It's an aberration. That place is not meant for charlatans. With utmost humility, permit me. You can send it to be chairman. You can send it to be governor, but not a legislator. No, I beg to differ. We have seen some cases in some state houses of assembly where a house member in the whole tenure cannot even move one motion or sponsor a bill. We have seen. I spent 6 months. At least they still have some evidence there. 6 months. Then we're just trying to settle down all of that. I did a town hall meeting, which it was all over within 6 months. To tell my people this is what I want to do. This is my blueprint, and ask for their input. The first, and my constituent said this is the first in the history since 1999. Universal choice, you can go there and verify. So the point I'm making, legislation is a very serious business. But in this part of this country, a situation where we begin to send our glorified houseboys and house ladies to House of Assembly, that's where we have the problem. With utmost humility.
So are we saying all of these members who are clustered on the floor of that house at the Enabulele complex are not able to...
I haven't said so.
No, I'm saying...
I haven't said so.
I mean, they were elected by the people of Edo State across all the 18 local government areas, obviously. I'm asking, I mean, there must be somebody, for example, who represents East and West, which is where I mean, that's where you have Epoma.
Yes, my friend, the former, my friend.
So are we saying we cannot put these individuals together and come up with...
And he happens to be the majority leader.
Incidentally, yes, a framework that will help tackle this to at least an appreciable extent.
You see, that the issue that happened in Ekpoma, it has been boiling over time.
Right.
And I believe that the political actors, failed to nip it on the bud. I must be very frank. I fought all of them, from the House of Rep, even the senator representing them, and at any rate, the governor is from that axis. They saw it coming. For me, I saw it coming. We have had a series of kidnapping. Not just kidnapping. I said that casualties. Without you doing anything. Not too long ago, it happens in Uromi. And it was knocking at the next door. That's why I said they are not proactive. They are reactionary. And Collins is a formidable force in Ekboma. That you can't take away. Even my friend Marcos, the former speaker and now the House of Rep member, they would have been able, even the majority leader of the State House of Assembly, they would have been able to put their eyes together. No, that's why I said just now that there are different blocks. There are different blocks. And what is happening now is who will get the ticket. We learned that some persons
in 2028.
Yes,
for the state's governorship,
both the state and the House of Rep, both 2028 and 2027 and 2028. So some of them they are a little bit, lackadaisical. So I'm not very sure of my ticket. Why would I want to stick my neck?
Assuming the governor has a block, who else has a block within the APC in Edo State?
I said it just now. I said his number 2 man is his worst nightmare.
So that's
without any apology.
That's another block.
The Oshomole block is there. That you can't. That is just standing at the neck of the governor. I sympathize. I don't envy him. I sympathize with him.
So you saying the governor is under pressure?
He's under pressure. I can say that for free.
I want to quickly interject now, still going back to insecurity. Now, what could be the long-term consequences if this security issues is not nipped in the bud in Edo State?
My dear sister, what we have seen, or perhaps what we have been experiencing, there have been, economic decline, seriously, in Edo State. And the people, there have been exodus of the people from the state, despite there's an angle from the governor and government angle that is necessitating the exodus of the people from the state. This insecurity is another angle of it. So for us, if not checked very quickly, I see us going into economic recession in Edo. Not only in Edo, across the country. Because our people in the rural communities, they are no longer, even in Edo North, they are no longer going to farm. That's a no fact. Our occupation in there is farming, trading. At the time, we had that some traders they were kidnapped, coming from market, and they have their proceeds. They were taken from them. Some of them were being molested and all of that. So for us, that's why we are a little bit, not a little bit, concerned that the government should have looked at the command center. You see, you can't say that all about madam is wrong. There are good side of you. Though I don't know you, but every person has his own good side. So likewise, every administration. You can't say everything about, for instance, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is wrong. I'm not saying all is wrong. Like the forest, for instance. At least it's stabilized. But I'm not saying it's good. But I'm not saying it's bad. So the point is this. The government should look at the good side of the last administration, let it harness it, and run with it. Rather than going into media, castigating, saying Edo State is not a 419 state. He used such a comment from a governor. And I told him, I think I replied, I said, look in your cabinet. Maybe you are the only one that is not a 419 there.
That's interesting, but we'll keep an eye out to continue to track these developments in the state. But one thing is clear, the governor has a lot of work to do.
Seriously.
There's a reason the governor is called the chief security officer of the state, and those who work with him must also not be seen to be fifth columnists of any kind. But overall, the buck stops right in front of the governor. Destiny Enabulele.
It's my name, it has not changed.
Yes, who is a member of civil society as well as a politician in those states. Would like to say a big thank you to you.
My pleasure.
Thank you for being a part of the program.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for this honor.
Thank you.
All right, just to again establish that the views of our guests across all of our programs are their opinions. I'm Muya Mofwegwe, as always. We are grateful for your time with us here on Global Morning.
And I am Jumai Manson. Thank you all so much for being a part of our program. Thank you so much to an amazing guest.
Thank you
for
very
being
much.
a part of the program. Have an amazing day ahead. From we and I, we'll say bye-bye.